We sincerely apologize for bringing the news behind schedule. In the news tonight, Anambra State House of Assembly passes resolution for intervention of gully erosion at Chisco House, Amechi, Obodi, Osumei Road. Anambra State Coordination Office on IFAD VCDP begins infrastructural needs assessment. Tribunal declares Adeleke of PDP winner of Oshuguba election. And the foreign saying Facebook admits millions of users' passwords were readable to employees for years. Before the news in detail, Anambra, the Anambra State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging Governor Willie Obiano to direct the Commissioners for Works and Environment to put a definite stop to the gully erosion site at Chisco House, Amechi, Obodi, Osumei Road in Nnewi South local government area. The House passed the resolution following the motion sponsored to that effect by Honorable Kingsley Roba, representing Nnewi South Constituency 1 during yesterday's plenary. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwemeka Modelim now reports.
Moving the motion, Honorable Iruba lamented that being the only good road linking Amici, Obodi and Osumenyi towns, the gully erosion needs urgent control works as it is developing with alarming speed. According to him, it is more worrisome that the erosion is heading towards Eziama village, Amici, and if not checked and controlled before the rainy season, the entire village may be wiped out.
This road is under construction, and the contractor is Merkes Construction International Limited. Mr. Speaker, if you go to that road right now, there is a gully erosion fast developing as a result of poor termination of channels, drain channels, by the said contractor. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you, we are not in rainy season, but the effect of that erosion is about consuming an entire village called Eziama village in Ami.
The Deputy Speaker, Sir Harford Oseke, who presided over the plenary, urged the ministries to arrest the erosion to avoid casualties.
Therefore, resolved by this honorable house that the governor of Anambra State, His Excellency Chief Dr. Will Obiano, is urged as a matter of urgency to direct the Commissioner for Works and Road Beautification as well as the Commissioner for Environment to move to the gully erosion site at Chisco House, Amici, Obodi Osumei Road in the Nnewi South local government area and put a definite stop to the safe gully erosion now before it gets out of hand. Those in support say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Also at plenary, the House reconfirmed the appointment of Mr.
The Anambra State government has reiterated its desire to sustain partnership with development agencies to explore various means of promoting development of the state. The Commissioner for Economic Planning, Budget and Development Partners, Mr. Mark Okoye, stated this while declaring open a two-day 2018 end-of-the-year interagency review meeting held in Awka. Amaka Chibuzo Okoye reports.
The review meeting, which was organized by the Ministry of Economic Planning, Budget and Development Partners, was to assess the performance and interventions of all development partners and to ensure they finished well. The Commissioner said the meeting is an occasion to reflect on Governor Obiano's desire for a new Anambra and to take stock of progress on the ground, as well as created an enabling environment conducive for partnership support. He disclosed that the ministry has established departments for partnership coordination to effectively handle matters relating to partnership support, even as he charged the project coordinators of the programs to ensure they are providing social services to the people aimed at moving the state forward.
Elections are over. It's now time to go back to the business of government, which is to ensure that we are constantly providing social services to the people of Anambra State and ensuring that the state continues to grow economically, socio-economically, and otherwise.
In her speech, the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Donor Agencies, Mrs. Nneka Onwudiwe, maintained that the meeting is very important as it provides opportunity to look critically on the performance of the partners, their programs rundown, implementation, challenges and outcome, stating that from the meeting they will know how much the development partners are bringing and contributions of state government. While highlighting the objectives of the meeting, the head, Partnership Coordination Department, Mrs. Ebere Ayaji, said it is to know the activities implemented so far, intimate government on each agency's operation in the state, and to review the achievements, constraints, lessons learned, as well as assess the relevance of the program interventions in the state. Also speaking, Mrs. Ngozi Ezamaka of FHI 360, in her illustrations, recommended increased release of funds from state budgets to tackle the inadequate domestic funding of HIV/AIDS response, leading to over-dependency on donor funds. Some of the participants who spoke to ABS, including Mr. Ato Iwanya and Mr. Ekene Enukora, said the meeting is a welcome development as they would evaluate what they have done, share ideas, experience, and think on way forward for better performance.
Thank the Executive Governor of Anambra State, who provided the scarce resources for today's meeting. And then I will advise them to listen attentively and to take home the resolution from this meeting back to their various projects.
At the end of this meeting, we'll be able to come up with ideas on how to improve on what we have done. So far, so good.
Kachibuzo Okoye, ABS News.
Well, as part of activities lined up by the National Office of IFAD VCDP for newly added local government areas, the Anambra State Coordination Office has embarked on infrastructure needs assessment tour. The tour, which is expected to cover the 3 newly added benefiting local government areas of Obaru, Ihiala, and Orumba South, will feature interactive sessions where farmers, groups, and organizations will have opportunity to discuss the areas they want the intervention. Over now to our Greek correspondent, Abeleze, who covered the tour for details.
Infrastructure needs assessment tour for Orumba South local government area that took place at the council's headquarters in Umunze attracted rice and cassava value chain farmers from various communities within the area. Speaking after the brainstorming interactive session, the leader of the team, Dr. Paul Nwadukwe, urged the IFAD VCDP to come out in full force and give a little push to the farmers, noting that with the enthusiasm in them, they will excel. Dr. Nwadukwe, who identified their key challenges as access routes, processing facilities, and production enhancement, noted that with good intervention, they will no doubt live above their present level of income, improve quality of life, and create employment for others.
Also give infrastructure. We also provide skill, capacity on how to use infrastructure. And they take ownership at the end of the day. It is not owned by government. The farmers they take ownership of this infrastructure and build their capacity to manage them.
The state program coordinator, IFAD VCDP, Mr. Anambra Guncha, stated that the visit was aimed at ascertaining the needs of rice and cassava farmers in Orumba South local government area that newly joined IFAD VCDP for full intervention. Mr. Guncha, represented by the state IFAD VCDP infrastructure engineer, Engineer Chidoziobi, announced that the intervention is purely on demand driven, where each farmer cooperative society or organization is expected to come up with their peculiar challenge for redress.
We create access to markets. We provide water for them for processing and potable water too. We build stores and markets for the farmers to easily market their products. We develop their lands to reduce drudgery, use of hoe and hand tools. All this we do to help the farmers in Orumba South local government.
For Mr. Anayo Okole, rice farmer from Umunze, and Uzamaka for cassava farmer from Akbu community, while identifying lack of access route, processing facilities, market, aggregation center, among others, as their bottlenecks, vowed that if properly taken care of, they will produce for the entire country and export.
We have poor access road to our farms. Secondly, we don't have machineries. Something like machineries like tractors, so we need something like that.
We need borrow. We need machine for processing it to change it to another product.
The infrastructure needs assessment tour featured question and answer session. With this need assessment tour to Orumba South local government area, farmers in the council area have been reassured that all their challenges will be taken care of by IFAD Value Chain Development Program. From Umunze, the council headquarters, I am Ebele Eze reporting for ABS News.
A mild drama ensued at the Amobi roundabout, where staff of Awka Capital Territory Development Authority went to clear the debris at the scene of a recent accident involving a truck laden with petrol that killed some people. Some residents and business owners in the area resisted the move, and their personnel left the area for fear of violence.
On arrival, ABS observed that some shops around the place that were not burnt down are marked for removal by the Awka Capital Territory Development Authority. Speaking, one of the business owners, Mrs. Clementina Obi, said that they have been doing business there for more than 7 years without disturbance and lamented that the decision to relocate them would have adverse effects on their business.
Agụ na-agụ anyị ụmụazị anyị ndị nọ na skuul ma ndị achọrọ n'ụgwọ akwụkwọ anyị enwezi ike anyị na-achọ enyemaka nwere aka enyere anyị ma moto gbachala ọkụ gbancha niile nwere nke asị anyị na-ekwu ejide ka ewere na-eme.
However, a resident who spoke to the ABS off camera pointed out that the exercise is long overdue, as some of the people operating businesses along that road obstruct traffic and cause obstruction, as they sometimes do business right on the road, noting that it is risky for everyone, such as drivers and other road users. ABS met a bread supplier with their van, Miss Blessing Nnaji, and she said that her business of supplying bread has been affected as she now witnessed low patronage, saying that she usually sells off her goods before 9 o'clock in the morning, which is no longer the case.
So Gabatara Hose, Makamari Haye, because what are you high? What umbrella one Kahatia, ever when after.
Reacting to the development, the Managing Director of Awka Capital Territory Development Authority, Venerable Amechi Okwosa, explained that the action of the ACTDA was in line with their mandate of keeping the city clean, healthy, and safe for Anambra. Venerable Okwosa explained that in August 2018, he paid a visit to business owners and hawkers in the area and asked them to vacate for their own safety, which was not heeded, and instead of doing so, many of them built additional structures even without approval. He regretted that people took laws into their hands and threatened some staff of the agency, adding that public safety would not be compromised.
We take on board the struggles and pains of the people of this state. And all those things will be taken into consideration. But I want to make it very clear that the fact that you've been in a location for several years illegally does not make your occupation legal. So, as far as I'm concerned, keeping safe is very important.
Recalled that before now, state government banned street trading across the state. From Amobia, Ejike Abana, ABS News.
The rise in cases of jungle justice and mob action in Nigeria has called for urgent reform of Nigeria's justice system. Almost on a daily basis, reports emerge of irate crowds descending on suspects who end up either being lynched or left half dead if the law enforcement bodies are unusually quick to respond. In the special report, correspondent Daniel Ezigwe speaks with a legal expert on the topic and its legal implications. His report.
3 of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights states that everyone has a right to life, liberty, and security. Equally, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the Charter, Article 4, enshrines the right to life, as also amply provided for in Section 33 of the Nigeria's 1999 Constitution as amended, which also clearly states that every person has a right to life and fair hearing. Just some weeks ago, an Oka-based events manager, Mr. Pascal Onyilo, was barbarically lynched to death and his car touched at Umuoji, Idemili North Council area, following a false alarm of kidnapping. Like the late Pascal Onyilo, hundreds of other victims have been savagely sent to their graves by angry mobs who act as accusers, judge, and executioners. Amnesty International, in its several reports, pointed to the growing level of jungle justice and extrajudicial killings in Nigeria. An Oka-based legal expert and public affairs commentator, Barrister John Okoli-Akrika, while noting that jungle justice as a term is not specifically addressed in the Nigerian Constitution, pointed out that Section 23 of Nigeria's 1999 Constitution already gives basic protection to the life of every Nigerian to fair and credible hearing in the event of crimes and defaults of the law. Barrister Okoli-Akrika said that the poor or slow crime prosecution and perceived corruption among the justice enforcement bodies in Nigeria have often left the people with the sole option of taking the laws into their own hands.
No matter the allegation against somebody, no matter the accusation, no matter the dispute, no matter the issue, everybody is entitled to have his matter adjudicated upon by a court of competent jurisdiction. So where the members of the public perceive that somebody, committed a crime, so to say, it does not lie within their powers to resort to what they term jungle justice. It is not justifiable. It is not tenable for them to have a recourse to violence. They will become the accusers. They will become the judge. They will also become the executioners because they will arrest the so-called offender. In certain instances, they will question the person as what really happened. In other instances, they will just get the person and lynch the person. But let me even take it that the person was asked what happened. You find out that the mob will now become the accusers. The mob will also become the judge. The mob will also become the executioners. So you can see that jungle justice, is antithetical to the Nigerian legal system.
In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
Now, national stories. The Osun State Governorship Election Tribunal has declared Ademola Adeleke of the PDP as the winner of the controversial Osun Guma election. The tribunal also declared the September 27 rerun election in the state illegal. The three-man panel of the tribunal gave the judgment today following the petition filed by the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Ademola Adeleke, against the All Progressives Congress, APC, and its candidate, Boyega Oyetola. The tribunal also ruled that PDP and Adeleke proved that it was the state returning officer who cancelled the results in 7 polling units, adding that the petitioners also proved that the returning officer has no power to cancel election results of a polling unit. The tribunal also deducted 2,029 votes from APC scores and 1,246 votes from PDP votes in 17 polling units where there was non-compliance. Delivering the judgment, the panel had a split decision, while 2 members ruled in favor of PDP and Ademola. The chairman, Justice Ibrahim Sirajo, ruled in favor of APC and Oyetola. And away from that, as part of their corporate social responsibility, the on-air personalities of Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, have visited Model Community Children's Home, Ifite Real Estate, Oka. Some of the items given to the children includes 15 bags of sachet water, 15 mosquito nets, toiletries, 74 exercise books, packets of detergent, carton of Indomie, cartons of biscuits. Correspondent Ogochukwu Keke tells us more.
While explaining the aim of their visit, one of the on-air personalities, Ms. Sandra Akpa, said that the essence of their visit was to make the children happy and stated that they have a program on ABS 88.5 FM called Friday Night Cruise as an avenue to bring all OAPs in the state together. Ms. Akpa, who said that determination is the key to success, advised the children to focus on their careers, hope in God, be courageous, and as well strive to be the best of whoever they want to be in life.
To understand that they are not alone, and as much as they are here and being taken care of, they can actually get to the zenith of their career, whatever they choose to be in life. Okay, it's all about determination and for them to find courage and strength to move, not minding how they feel the society may see them, but then they can actually look beyond that and be the best.
Receiving the items, the receptionist in the orphanage home, Mrs. Felicia Okafo, who thanked the ABS for the kind gesture. Also thanking the crew, one of the orphans, Master Ifeanyi Onwebu, appreciated the gifts given to them and prayed God to guide, protect and replenish the pockets of the donors, as well as grant their desires. In Awka, Ogochukwu Okeke reports in ABS News.
In business news, the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, has projected that the current monetary policy stance of the bank is expected to continue while inflation is estimated to rise to 12% and moderate thereafter. He said this while making a presentation on setting the agenda for economic growth and business confidence following the conduct of elections in 2019 at the Business Day Post-Election Economic Agenda Conference in Lagos. Latest statistics by the CBN and the National Bureau of Statistics put the country's inflation rate at 11.31% in February. Emefiele, who hinged the monetary policy stance of the bank on rising inflation expectations, however, noted that the bank would adjust the policy rate in line with unfolding conditions and outlooks. Like it did in 2018, he said the bank would continue its drive to ensure that the policy interest rate was set to balance the objectives of price stability with output stabilization. On the foreign scene, Facebook has admitted that millions of users' passwords were readable by its employees for years after being stored in plain text on its internal servers, violating fundamental computer security practices. Pedro Canahauti, the company's vice president of engineering, security and privacy, said that the blunder was uncovered during a routine security review in January. But thousands of employees could have searched them. The news comes after a series of controversies centered on whether Facebook properly safeguards the privacy and data of its more than 2.2 billion worldwide users. Kanahauti said that the company expected to notify hundreds of millions of Facebook's light users, tens of millions of other Facebook users, and tens of thousands of Instagram users whose passwords may have been vulnerable to prying eyes. Facebook Lite is a version designed for people with older phones or low-speed internet connections. It is used primarily in developing countries. Still on the foreign scene, a Bangladeshi cricketer who narrowly escaped last week's deadly mosque attacks in New Zealand has married his fiancée earlier today. Off-spinner Mehdi Hassan was among 17 members of Bangladesh Test cricket team touring New Zealand who were driven up to a Christchurch mosque as the shooting began. They later watched as blood-soaked victims staggered from the building, according to team manager Khalid Mashoud, who said if they had arrived just a few minutes later, the team could have been caught up in the massacre. Mehdi announced that he had married his longtime sweetheart, Rabia Akhtar Priti, in a ceremony in southwestern Bangladeshi city of Khulna. The team was in Christchurch for their third and final test match against the home side, scheduled to begin last Saturday, which was promptly cancelled to allow the cricketers to return home. 50 people died in attacks on two mosques in Christchurch in what is believed to be the worst assault on Muslims in a Western country. And that's it on the news tonight. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any parts of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go tonight, a quick reminder of our top stories. The Anambra State House of Assembly has passed resolution for intervention of gully erosion at Chisco House, Amici, Obodi, Osumei Road. Anambra State Coordination Office on IFAD VCDP has begun infrastructural needs assessment. Tribunal has declared Adeleke of PDP winner of Oshoguba election. The foreign scene, we brought to you that Facebook has admitted millions of users' passwords were readable to employees for years. And that's the size of our package tonight. Many thanks for joining the bulletin. I'm Berry Ugunna.